bring you an update now on our breaking story in the last hour. 6 people are missing and 1 person has died after a luxury yacht sank in the early hours of Monday off the coast of Sicily. Now, the Italian Coast Guard says 4 Britons, 2 Americans and a Canadian citizen are missing. And what we're seeing here now is live pictures from off the coast of Sicily because a rescue effort is still very much underway. We can bring in a moment our transport correspondent Tom Simons, who's been looking closely at what is happening there. But let's just bring you first this comment from a local fisherman. Now, he describes the moments leading up to the tornado hitting.
We went down to the boat while waiting for sailors to go on a fishing trip. I saw flashes of lightning and I didn't like the look of the sky, so we stopped inside the dock and waited for it to pass. At around 4 o'clock, the waterspouts hit the town. Everyone inside the harbour was scared. Our boat was thrown onto its side. 15 minutes later, we saw a flare in the sea. Once the waterspout had passed, we went out to inspect. All we saw were cushions and the rest of the boat which had sunk. We didn't find any men in the sea.
Quite an evocative statement there, Tom, from one of the fishermen who was experiencing what was happening there. But what do we know about what's happening there at the moment?
Well, let's rewind to last night. We have a picture taken by somebody on shore of this super yacht. It's 56 metres long, safely anchored out in the bay off this Sicilian port. And until the morning, that's where it stayed. We also have pictures at about 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock local time in Italy of a massive storm hitting a local town. And you saw that description there of that fishing captain describing what he saw, a waterspout. Now, we can't confirm that, but that's what he said he saw. What we do know is that the Bayesian seems to have sunk at that point. The 22 people on board, that's about 12 guests and 10 crew, tried to escape, and some of them, 15 of them, managed to get onto a nearby yacht and then rescued by Coast Guard. But after that, nobody else emerged from the wreckage of this vessel. It's thought that 7 people are missing, and certainly 1 body bag has been filmed being taken onto the shore at the port nearby.
And do we know the nationalities of those who are missing?
We do. This is a British flag ship with a crew and staff, crew and passengers on board who are mainly from Great Britain, but there is 1 New Zealand citizen, 1 from Sri Lanka, an Irish national, and 2 people with dual British-French citizenship. And one of the survivors, we understand, is a 1-year-old child.
And what about the rescue efforts that are being made at the moment? We can see some activity there just from these live pictures we're getting.
Well, by all accounts, it was a very quick response from the Coast Guard in this area. They went out with a number of vessels and tried to help those coming off the yacht that rescued from the main vessel that went down. Today, they've been searching the area both with their own surface ships, but also divers who've been going down 50 metres to see this vessel, presumably on the bed of the sea, to try to spot anybody inside. And of course, it's quite possible this happened early hours of the morning, that people were inside their cabins, and that would have made it very hard to escape. It's worth just pointing out, people who don't know how the Mediterranean operates and these boats operate, this was not moored in the harbour where it would have been protected by the walls, at least from the waves. It was anchored out offshore. That's because these yachts are pretty big and it's hard to get them into a small harbour. What happens generally with super yachts is the guests are ferried into shore to perhaps have dinner on small tenders. So there will be an investigation into whether this sinking could have been prevented, but at the moment this is a rescue operation.
And also, presumably this is incredibly unusual in an event like this. And we're looking at the live pictures, the sea seems quite calm. People are moving about on the water. There's no after effects, it seems, from the storm or whatever happened.
Well, our weather teams say that this was a very intense set of storms that passed through the north coast of Sicily at about that time. They can't confirm a tornado, but it might suggest that's what happened because we have this yacht alongside that appears to have been untouched, or at least able to rescue those who came off the Bayesian, and we have this very big sailing ship that's gone down very close by all accounts. So that may be the weather conditions, I think, will be something that will be looked at very closely. But as you see now, the storm has passed and the rescue operation is taking place in relatively calm seas.
Tom, thanks so much for that. We are getting updates from the Coast Guard and from the authorities and our own team as well, who are on the way to Sicily. We have a live page up and running on the BBC News website. If you'd like to stay across the story and keep following it, do log on and you'll get regular updates on the situation there. And we will also keep across it for you here on BBC News.